Hiya guys, AZ, Lani,
Welcome to another episode.
no Charlie,
I know. It's not going to be the same without him.
but we miss you though.
Yeah, we
soon
miss you.
back. What are we saying today? Talking about
Some deep stuff.
Let's not ignore the elephant
in the
in
room,
the room.
the big one,
What's
Yeah.
the elephant in the room?
the
With
one
the-
that was on someone's neck till they died, the stupid police officer.
Oh,
What was his name? George Floyd, isn't it?
Yeah, George Floyd, R.I.P. George Floyd.
yeah, R.I.P.
How do you feel about it?
Oh, come on, man. You're not going to start with me.
Yeah.
You guys start.
No, do you know what? Honestly, this one, I tried to detach. I just thought, oh my gosh, another one, not again. And I thought, I'm not going to get... I don't want to have to...
Do you feel like it
Deal with this one.
desensitizing? Because it's happened so many times now.
I think it depends on your initial stance, and it also depends on if you want it to desensitize you or not. I think it can go either way. I think it can desensitize you, or it can continue to make you get even more pissed off.
Pissed off, yeah. I think I'm.
And for
on
me,
the
it makes
latter,
me get
yeah.
even more pissed off. I'm getting bitter and more bitter as the day goes on. And I don't want to be a bitter person. I'm working on that. But
What about you?
I'm not going to lie, guys. This is going to sound really bad. I know a lot of people are going to judge me, and I know I'm going to get drugged. But basically, unless it's an issue that is in the UK or in Africa or in Europe, I will just scroll past it.
Why is that? Because
I have this thing with the USA, which is a recent feeling. I haven't always felt this way, but I feel like the USA and the UK have a one-sided relationship. Not with politics, not with economics. I'm not talking about government, because obviously we're allies with the USA. We're best buddies.
I get you.
Like the president and the prime minister are like buddies. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Black America and Black Britain. I feel like it's a bit one-sided. I feel like every time something happens to them, we show them love. In fact, in general, we celebrate them. We're up their ass, we lick their ass. And then I feel like when it comes to us, they just don't show us any love. I feel like they're really ignorant. They only care about themselves. They don't care about the rest of the world in general. It's not just about England. I feel like in general, they don't care about the rest of the world. So I just sometimes feel like until they start to show us a little bit more respect, I'm just gonna basically mind my business.
I'm not even mad at you.
Do you know, I'm not
even
mad at you, but at the
about
same
it.
time, I feel like it is to an extent our business, but I get completely where you're coming from. My thing is that, as you see, like what happens over there tends to come over here slightly, and I don't think that it's going to be exactly the same. Our police don't carry guns and but we are under, systematic oppression and whatnot. I'm pissed. I'll be very honest with you. I'm pissed because it keeps happening. I'm pissed because, I don't even know how to feel or react. You got people, burning down the police station. I get, the frustration. I get the anger. I'm angry. And this is one thing that I can sort of, branch from what you're saying. Like, I can empathize with them, but I can't speak on their struggle, on their pick up.
On their behalf.
Yeah, like I can't. Like it's almost rude for me to do that. Do you get what I'm saying? Because what their oppression is, like it hits in your face. Like whereas ours is probably like behind your back sort of thing. What's the fucking answer? Because they had the whole police force guarding my man's house while everybody was looting the police station. Do you get what I'm saying? So, take the fight to where the fight needs to be had. Like, I'm not saying, go and start killing people and fight the policemen and whatnot, but people keep dying. And yes, we're making strides and we're fighting for change, but fam, this is blatant and it's still blatant. Do you get what I mean? Like, I don't know. What do you reckon? Like,
I feel like, I get what you're saying, Lani, about the whole thing. No, I'm not even being funny. Like, I totally get it. And I get it's driven by, like, your emotion. I totally understand where you're coming from. But my only thing is that the reason that, we can say, forget the US or whatever, blah, 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 is sheer luck. It's geography. I was born here. I had no control over that. And that's the only reason why I'm not at such a high risk to get shot in the street or suffocated in the middle of the street.
Yeah, 100.
Not because I've worked hard, not because I've done anything better or differently to the people that live there. I just happen to be born here. And so my opinion is that, that could be me, that could have been my dad, that could have been my son, but it's not because I just happen to be born here by chance. And for me, because that's the only reason, that's the main thing that separates us, is I kind of feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's very harsh to be like, oh, you know, fuck the US.
No, it is harsh. Obviously, I should be look, I know that the way I feel is based off emotion and it's wrong. And like, we should be the bigger person type of thing, and we should care about all black people around the whole world. But at some point, like, you know, it just hurts. To me personally, it just hurts that I feel like they just never show us the same support. That's just how I feel.
Do you know what?
But I think it's sad. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, it's really sad.
I think that a lot of that comes from, you know, the new social media age now. Like, they're getting to see that, black people in Britain are actually black and like us. Like, they're black. Like,
it was like they didn't know, I guess.
Do you get what I'm saying? Before, their idea was everybody drank tea and ate crumpets. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, you have them, like, the whole Pop Smoke was a very good, Pop Smoke, a very good crossover, you know, between the two countries. And even tying into what you're saying, you know, we could have children that, because of the so-called crossover and intermingling, that are going to travel to America, want to build families in America. Yeah, true. Like, do you know what I'm saying? We're buying off each other's culture so much now that it's almost inevitable. Their struggles slightly affect us because, again, we're in a minority in this country, and I feel like, in the Western civilization, and I feel like as minorities we need to link up. Do you get what I'm saying? How we're linking up to affect change, I don't know. How we do that, I don't know. But what we're doing right is that we continue to create awareness. Whether it is from somebody's perspective that they're just, okay, well, at least I put it up on my Instagram. Do you get what I'm saying? And people can see and understand it, or you genuinely feel it. You know, who are we to sort of judge? But I don't know, man. I'm angry. Like, I'm
fucking pissed.
I saw
I've
it and
had
I
the
was like,
fucking
bro, this is
I'm telling you,
blatant disrespect. But, you know, again, like I said, Rodney King didn't even get killed. And there was no Snapchat. There was no video. Do you know what I'm saying? This is blatant. You can see it, bruv. And you've been seeing it for the best part. 18 months, you've seen it consistently over and over. Strap, knee, strangle, strap, knee, over and over again. To the point where now, bruv, you couldn't get any more bait. So what do? You sack them.
Police officers usually back each other, though, innit? They'll lie for each other. And
listen, the culture of the authorities, and me personally, America is the strangest country on the earth.
Thank you.
And you know, we talk about places like Korea and China. Like, I get it, I get all of that, but America is strange in such a unique way because the delusion there is the land of the brave and the land of the free. It makes me sick to my stomach because people peddle this and they hide behind it. And
there's elements of it though. It's
not
complete.
No, but this is the thing. It's not about
whether America.
No, I know that. I'm not disputing that, but I don't care. That's my point. Like, there are elements, but fuck it, don't give a shit, because there's elements of that, but there's a certain criteria you have to fit in order to benefit. It's not like that for everyone. It's like that for some people. So as long as it's only like that for some people, I don't care until it's like that for everyone. When it's like that for everyone, I'll acknowledge that.
Will it ever be like that for everyone though?
God knows. Only God knows. This thing that we're dealing with, this racist thing, particularly against niggers, it runs so deep and it's so insidious that there's no one way to do this. There's no one avenue to take. There's no one right answer. And if we think there is, that's also going to be a hindrance. Exactly. That's also going to be a hindrance to us because we don't all have the same resources. We don't all have the same time. So we can't all do the same thing.
But we all need to have the same understanding.
There definitely needs to be
first
a unity and
of,
understanding.
you know, where we're from, what we like, and I learned this very, very, very early in my life. Yeah, remember who you are, remember where you come from, to know where you're going. Yeah, I even have it tatted on my arm. Rod your mentor and shit. Remember the household of whom you come up from. Do you get what I'm saying to you? And I hear it in English literature. Study the past to know the present, so you can better study the future and understand it. Do you get what I'm saying? If we don't look at what's gone on in our past, like, oh, boom, this is where we're from. This is how we are. This is how we are as a people. Then we understand how we've got here today. Where this systematic stuff comes from. Where this blatant in your face stuff comes from. Like, yes, a lot of us know, but a lot of us don't. A lot of people are not aware of, actually, you know what? You're actually up against a system that is going to keep you under the thumb. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people that actually don't know that. And for me, that's a lot more part of the problem than even just fighting or rebelling or coming together and doing these, you know, campaigns, because, you know, to an extent, we still fight each other to make our voices heard on a grander scale. You know, we're doing Black Lives Matter, great, fantastic campaign, fantastic movement. But since this been happening, and I'm not saying that, you know, don't continue to have these campaigns and whatnot, but these people are still killing these kids.
Do you think we need a leader like Nelson Mandela or something?
No.
You don't?
We need a leader that has
I don't think we
the
need one
substance
single individual
of-
leader
we need
because
leaders.
Sometimes you guys...
do you know why you needed one single individual leader then? Because now the way we can share and spread information is so different to how we could do it then. And the reason why you needed a leader then is because you needed that one person. That was the resource. That is how you... MLK is the person who spread that message. He gave people a way to educate others.
But then he also
we don't
teach them
need-
how to fight.
We don't need that one person to teach
And
us
when
how
you
to
have
fight
that
anymore.
one person,
don't
you
know
have to
how to
remember that one
change
person
it.
now becomes susceptible to being vulnerable to what they offer that one person as leadership.
Yeah, that's
You
a good
know,
point.
like, you know what,
That's a good
cool,
point.
we're going to accept you lot, but take 50% of this, and you know what, you backload this, and then the rest of everybody else is fucked.
And if you think of,
put-
like-
and which is how, you know, the black community has sort of been run, especially within America. You know, they've given them a little bit, and they've given their little leaders, and, you know, here's a little bit, you know, your MLKs and all these other people, here's a little bit, give back to the people, let them keep their big shot a
That
little bit.
person
and it's
becomes
a juice.
vulnerable to be like, they become vulnerable to manipulation, to
Yeah.
all sorts, bribery, all sorts. And that's what happens when you have one person who is a leader. Because they had so much power, they also have so much to lose. And it puts them in a very vulnerable position. And we all need to equip ourselves the way MLK did. It doesn't need to be one individual person.
But then the thing is, I feel like...
I'm not saying leadership
the
isn't good
blind-
and it's not beneficial. I'm saying we don't need one person to do that.
But
We
you
don't
don't
need
feel
one
like it's
person
like
to
the
look up
blind
to.
leading the blind, and like we don't actually know how to educate. We don't actually know how to make the change in the most effective
That's
way.
what I'm saying. We can learn
someone could-
ourselves now in a way that we couldn't then.
Someone has to convince all of us that this is the right way to do it.
And this is the thing, like, at this point right now, yeah, it shouldn't take someone to convince the information.
So what's the right way to change?
If you just want to find out information about yourself, information is out there. There's so many different platforms for you to just seek information in general, right? At this point, like you were saying, that there's not one way. What we need is people of substance.
But I disagree with that.
People, hear me out first.
Okay, yeah.
People of substance. So your Malcolm X's, your MLKs in abundance, yeah?
Yeah,
In
that's my point.
today's
We need loads of
society
them.
that actually
Okay.
understand the
Yeah, I
connecting
hear you.
dots, like, right, okay,
But
you know
bring
what?
everyone together.
These are the children that live in America and England, and this is
Yeah.
how they operate, and this is what they're up against, and this is how we've come from, and this is how we need to now make our own systems, or this is how we reform this system, you know. We need to make sure that we're attacking the conversation from where the conversation needs to be had. We can't keep fighting and
Okay, but
clawing for a little bit, and then it's just for me. I'm just at a point like, okay, you know what? Fuck the circle. Like, I'm tired of the circle. I'm tired of. Okay, we riot. We say no. These lot go to jail. They
That
do it
doesn't
again in
work.
another 18 months.
yeah, but that doesn't work.
Fuck
Okay,
that.
do you remember
I'm tired of that.
off camera you were talking about how like we have numbers in Africa,
Yeah.
and but over here we have like we're educated more, whatever. Right, that's the point I'm trying to make. Now, if someone could figure out a way, or a group of people, or a society could figure out a way to bring all black people, even though I'm like fuck America, but if they could figure out a way to bring all black people around the whole world into unity, so we can fight racism together, that would be great. But how do we do that?
It starts from the home. What the seed you plant in each child that grows up to know about who he is as a kid. Like, do you know what I'm saying? The soil that you come from.
But that's slow.
The lands
no?
that you go out to spread and multiply and understand where you're coming from as you're doing that. Like, yes, I'm British and I was born here, and I'm very I love my country. You know what I'm saying? And even as I said I love my country, I even had a little bit of a, do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm Nigerian. Do you know what I'm saying? That is my country of origin. I understand I'm from Ile-Ife. You know what I'm saying? I understand that that's my country of origin. I understand, you know, about Oduduwa. I understand about, you know, the chieftaincies and the tribes, and, you know, the Oni of Ife, who is the chief in Ife. You know, I understand about Oyo, the Oyo Empire. So again, I'm trying to find so much more about myself so that I understand who I am, and whatever else comes, I feel like I'm better equipped to deal with. That might not work for everybody. Again, you know, you said something about me talking about what I said off camera. We are kids that are privileged in the sense that we have an awareness. So not necessarily better educated, but we have an awareness, a worldly view. Now, our peers in Africa don't have that same worldly view. So if we're going to come together and unite, where the vast majority of them are back there, we keep fighting a system here. We can't keep fighting a system here when they're fighting that same system, and this is not our system.
I feel
Do you know what I'm
like
saying? We can fight it, do you know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's going to be a continuous battle against this
Do you know
system.
what it is?
Because the numbers are not in our favour. We're a minority here.
I feel like as much as you want to look backwards and you want to figure out where you're from, all that history and stuff, like I don't dispute it. Like reading, like knowing that shit is important. It is like integral. But I also think we're all striving for different things. This person wants respect. This person wants wealth.
Right.
This person just wants to be considered beautiful. Like we need to decide what we want. I think that's a huge problem as well. We need to decide what we want and what we're all striving for, and it absolutely does. And we all need to. And I'm not saying this as like it's our fault, but we need to decide what it is we're after. And I think we are going through changes. And I think another thing that we need to do is I'm not saying that we're too hard on ourselves, but we need to understand this is not going to happen quickly. It doesn't matter how hard we fight. This is going to take a long time. Because we are dealing with hundreds and hundreds of years of not just racism, but indoctrination, conditioning. Like that stuff doesn't get undone because we wake up one day and we have an epiphany, or we suddenly decide that we want to focus on one thing or another.
If the powers that be are blatantly, you know, and when I say the powers that be, the police force, right, are blatantly displaying what, you know, it is that they feel. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Then, and like I said, I'm not saying we're not making changes. I'm not saying we're not fighting for progression. I'm saying, at what point do we say, you know what, this is fucking ridiculous? Because now it's actually even more blatant. And like I was like.
But that's what the riots are. That's people saying this is fucking ridiculous.
But the riots have been happening. The riots have been going on. How do we get ahead of this curve now? Like there has to be, like it's almost like what you said about multiple different ways. Whether it's we need new ways, new leadership, whatever. There has to be something.
Personally, for me, I want carnage. Personally, I'm just saying, I want them to burn
But
everything to the fucking ground.
anarchy does that solve stuff?
Anarchy and carnage doesn't solve anything.
Maybe. And even if it doesn't, even if it
do you want to know the reality to carnage?
Even if it doesn't,
the reality to
they
carnage
should have a
is,
purge. I think they should let it all out.
Listen, if there's a carnage and there's a purge and all of that, we're fucked. Period. We're fucked. Which is why I now said, okay, well, you want to do all of this making noise and all of that. Like, I'm not saying you don't fight, because we need to fight for a better way of life in this country. We are children of this nation. Do you get what I'm saying? But if you're screaming, oh, fuck it, all that carnage, you're a minority, man. You're going to get duppy.
Yes,
all of you. There's no two ways about it.
No,
what, a little 13% of you?
Yeah.
Done that.
Fighting, he's right.
Calm your little self down.
But the point is, this is the thing. That's to assume that these white people have the balls to come out and fight us, and a lot of them don't.
What are you talking about? They had the balls to colonize your whole fucking nation.
That was then. Do you know why? Because when they went and colonized the nation, we weren't physically able to. Now, if a white woman comes to me and you, physically, like literally right here, we're like this right now.
This is the problem. Because of our own personal privilege of what we're living in, we mistake it for the grander issue. You can do that because you've been born in that. You have that empowerment.
But I said this person, I'm talking about me.
I know, but the vast majority, when you call for anarchy and a purge, it affects everybody, right? Yeah. The vast majority are not going to be able to do that. And the people that you say don't have the balls, they had the balls to set the very frameworks of an empire like none other.
But
I wouldn't call that balls.
No, but back in the day, all white people were racist. It would be different now. Some white people would be on our side.
My thing is.
That's the truth.
My thing is, I'm not disputing that. Listen, hate with hate doesn't solve nothing, right?
That's another line I'm tired of. Fuck it, hate them back.
But it's the truth, right? hate begets more hate, right? And the truth of the matter is that.
So does love work? So then what do we do? Should we love them into liking us? Should we love them till they're nice to us?
That's why sometimes I appreciate the fact that we are the people that we are, because we just filled with love.
And if people were really as violent, if black people was really as violent as they want everyone to believe we are, they would be finished.
Things would have been changed by now. Things would have been done changed. But because we are such a loving people.
So is it because we're loving, or we don't have the ability to fight back?
In my opinion, I think we're people of love, because the truth is, like, we fight, we change, and things change for a period of time. But do you know what? We're the same people that be like, you know what? Let's go help them fix that, man. Let's go sort that out, man. Like, we can't all live like this. Like, we need to stop that shit. We're quick to
And we need to stop that. We need to stop that. We need to stop being so nice.
And again, I don't know if it's we need to stop to being so nice. I think we just need to know what our priorities are. Do you get what I'm saying? And like I said,
We can do both.
For me, it starts from your household, your family network. From each family comes a community. From each community comes a town, city. That's how it was done. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Even when I was growing up in this country, bruv, yes, you are British, or look at us. Yes, you're born here. Me too, I was born here. Wherever. But you see, in this house, it's Nigeria, and there's a bunch of principles that you must be raised on. So you see, the police, they can fear me, but I fear my family name and disgrace. And so these certain things hold me a certain way. Do you get what I'm saying to you? And that's why I used to sort of like understand this racial thing, because again, if I didn't have Nigeria or the culture that of the knowledge that's given to me, I'd be very confused. Because I like I said, I love this country. I love my country so much, but again, the oppression that we go through and the systematic oppression that we go through, it makes you feel like, bro, what does one do?
See, my thing is not my thing. I'm not trying to argue that rioting is what we need to change it. But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to sit here and tell people, oh, don't do that. Oh, that doesn't change anything. Because like you like you said, you don't feel like anything is changing anything. So at the very least, I'm going to stand up for myself the best way I know how. And if that is rioting, no one is going to tell me shit. Because you're not giving me fuck all to defend myself. You're not equipping me. You're not giving me the resources I need to defend myself. So I'm going to use what I've got and do the best.
The only thing I say is that when the riot starts, you people make sure you're the first people to do barricade. Make sure your strap game is set, your strap game chucky, and everything's on point. Because if it's not, then we're fucked, didn't we? Because, like I said, these people are well organized. They've been organized for centuries and centuries and centuries. Like, mentally, they've been organized. Like, there's a lot that men are up against. And the battle is not won face to face. The battle is won here. Again, by your youths, them. Understanding, telling your youths to know exactly right. This is what these people are teaching you every day. This is what you need to take, knowledge. This is what you need to take.
You know what, Lucas? I wholeheartedly believe that, and that's why I became a teacher. But all I'm saying is, you should still riot.
I disagree with Lucas because that's all I'm saying. Because that's a long-winded way. I don't really get why. Wait, but I don't really get. Wait. I don't get why you guys aren't thinking about, like, in history. You remember the suffragettes and different societies like that. People came, fair enough, but people came together to change laws, and we had emancipation of slavery and stuff because people formed groups. I don't see why you guys are not taking this and thinking it's important. We need no, it is important. That's how women got the rights to vote, because of the suffragettes came together. So I don't think we need to go home and no, we need to actually, as black people, not just having a black right to matter march. We need to have an actual, the same way you go to church, we need to all start going to these meetings and figure out a way to change this shit.
Do you know what it is? This is the issue, and there's no right answer for this, but we sit here and we talk about things that we could do, and I think we're looking at the most ideal situation, right?
No, there's no ideal situation.
And the ideal situation is the most ideal situation is probably the least practical. And so you have to find a happy medium where practicality meets the ideal. So this is really great, and this is something that we can actually action, because I feel like some of the things we suggest is great in theory, but
no one's going to do it.
Not even no one's going to do it, but a lot of people can't.
The only one thing you can control, for me, is how you raise your family.
So how come people did it back in the day? How come people cared enough to meet up?
If we're saying, and that's the only reason why.
I remember in America they used to have those. You know when you watch the movies, in America they used to wear their afros and go to them secret meetings and be like, "Yes, sister." Well, I don't get it. Like, why can't we do that now?
But have you noticed how history repeats itself? And I feel like very potentially, we could get to a point where we are organising things again at that level. But do you know what happened? And like you said, you said you're tired of cycles, but literally everything in life is a cycle. History continues to repeat itself, but it just manifests in different ways. The same way racism is still here, but it's manifested in different ways. Therefore, our reaction and how we deal with it is going to have to manifest in a different way. Someone tweeted like, "Oh, if I'm getting killed, don't stand around and film it. Help me."
Right. So I can get killed myself.
Right, exactly. So it depends how you
No
see it, right?
way, bro.
That's what I think.
No way.
That's lovely, but they will shoot me one time.
Do you know what's fucked about this world, yeah? It's so fucked up. Think about it. The current climate of America, black people getting killed by police, right? There's a man that's got, the police officer's got his knee on the neck of the man. and you're asking why I'm videoing it and not coming to break it up. He's just killed my man.
You're spreading
in
awareness.
front of you lot.
You're spreading awareness by filming it, to be honest.
What am I going to do by coming, to get killed too? Then that now opens the door to the wider issue, which is everybody's afraid of themselves getting hurt.
Yeah, a million.
So, to change something more time, you need to get hurt to change it. How many people are afraid or are willing to get hurt? That's what it boils down to an extent as well. How many people are willing to get hurt for this change? Because nobody's going to allow you to just take it. It's like anything in life. Nobody just allows you to take it. Nobody just gives you in life. If we want our rights, again, I'm not promoting violence. Don't get me wrong.
I'm promoting violence.
I'm not promoting violence or whatever, but it's
advocate,
like,
totally, completely.
do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want it, like, they're not just going to give it to you. We wanted independence even till today. Like, we're starting to realize, right? They didn't actually just give you independence. There's so much they took from you. In fact, they raped you. And then again, like we're saying, this thing is happening across the board. Like,
where can you go and be safe from being killed by the police? The question is
the United
absolutely
Kingdom
nowhere.
slightly.
They'll come into your house, they'll shoot in the middle of the street, they'll shoot you when you're protesting, you can't be jogging, like, it's anywhere. So then it's like, where do you go? Because you clearly can't hide. And so this idea of, I know I keep coming back to the violence and the right. For example, you see Brianna, yeah? If the police thought that after they ran up in that woman's house and they shot her, they was gonna come and burn down the police station where they worked and come to your house to the point where you need 75 to 100 police officers guarding it, they would think twice. And now I'm not saying it's a foolproof method, and I'm not saying it's the perfect way. But what I'm saying is, to look at people and say you're ridiculous for believing that that's gonna work, that's stupid. I just don't think it's fair. Look at the white woman in the park.
Yeah. It's happening every day. It continues to happen. But again,
I find that disgusting. And you know what we say about, education? Fuck education. Because that bitch knew exactly what she was doing. She looked that man dead in the eye when he was recording her and he said, I'm going to call the police and I'm going to tell them that an African-American man is threatening me. Because she knows the systems that are in place. But I trust you. You meet that woman at work in your office, she'll tell you, I'm not a racist. Or she'll be confused, like whatever do you mean? What is this white privilege you speak of?
Yeah,
and she will act like she doesn't understand, because that way, if she doesn't understand, how could I possibly contribute to a system that I didn't even get? And that's another thing that they've done. They've told us that we need to educate them, wasting more of our time, wasting more of our energy.
I just think it's not so much even educate them, it's just hold them accountable properly. Like
by burning the police stations down.
And that's the thing, that's not going to do it properly, because that don't change nothing. If anything, that, like I said, the truth is, we're a minority in this country. If we do Armageddon and all gun ho, it's a losing battle, in my opinion. Like, just looking at it logically, it just
like, so
doesn't
if
make sense.
let's just say hypothetically, every black person came out of their house and rioted.
You're getting fucked up.
This is what I'm saying. Do
You're
you think the white
fucked
people
up.
are going to come out of their houses and
They don't need to.
and fight
National
us
Guard,
back?
all of you are getting duppied. Act up too much. Kill too many people on them roads. Or
Yeah, but some white people. But do you know that some white people will also join in? There are a lot of white people
I
that
know all of that, but you
empathize.
all go as well. They're not going to discriminate.
There's loads of white people that
And you know what? That's what's going to make it even sweet as well, because they won't discriminate. All of you will get sprayed, and they'll be like, "Yeah, it was everybody, the lot of ya." So again,
but the government could never ever survive that.
Stay there. They will just topple that one.
What do you mean? Germany has a huge because of what they did to like the Jews. People look at Germany a certain way. We could never survive that. They could never survive that.
Germany is surviving today. What are you talking about?
No, the point is they have a what's the word when you judge someone badly for what they did to the Jews?
They judge Hitler.
Oh, just a bad reputation.
They have a bad stigma because of Hitler, but
why do you think the UK wouldn't want to have that type of reputation for killing all the black people in their country?
Do you think Margaret
I don't think it would happen here. I don't think it could happen here.
Margaret Thatcher didn't have a great reputation.
I don't think it could happen. No, but not for killing.
Listen,
there's a difference.
Listen.
I don't know, when they done the London riots, how many people died in London riots?
How many people went out and started killing people in London riots?
But I haven't said anything about killing anyone.
But that's what I'm saying. Riot doesn't change anything. Remember.
But you said we'll get duppied. What did you mean by
Yeah,
that?
that's what I'm asking. Like, how many people died in London riots?
We said violence.
They were being violent. They were burning. That's violence.
When I'm talking violence, you said purge, anarchy, and then.
Yeah, I didn't. I never mentioned going around killing all the white people. That's not what I meant.
But okay,
Destroying all the businesses and that. That's what she meant.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought you meant, and that's what I
Yeah,
said.
that's
not what that's not. When I say that's not what I mean. I don't mean go around and becoming cold-blooded murderers. No, that's not what I mean.
Even
listen what I'm
burning down
asking
the
you.
businesses.
How many people died at the London riots? Because you keep
Nobody
saying
died.
exactly.
Nobody died. But my point is, it's not about nobody died. How many businesses got fucked up that weren't white-owned businesses? Half of it was in Hackney.
But
and they were actually
listen. This is another thing. Yeah, it's
half
not,
of it was in Tottenham.
Lucas, it's not white-owned businesses. But if you took all the ethnic minority businesses out, they need that shit. So if that shit ain't prospering, neither are they, bruv.
All I know is violence is not the answer, but at the same time,
I don't think that's true. I don't necessarily think that's true.
Anybody slaps you,
I'm not saying
slap
violence. My thing is, I'm not saying violence alone works. I don't want you to misconstrue
I don't know
what
what
I'm
the
saying.
answers are,
I'm not saying violence alone works. What I'm saying is, it is not something I am opposed to. That's my point. I'm not opposed to it.
I think she
all
might
these
be
people
right.
protesting and stuff. I don't know. I don't know if I can get behind it. Too tough. I respect people's decision to do that. I'm not against that. I'm not going to judge anyone for that. But that's not my take. Like, I'm for it. I'm for it.
My final thing is, educate your family.
Educate your family.
Have an impact in your
That is
home.
slow,
And
but fair
it's
enough.
the only
It's gonna
way
be
for
slow.
me,
It's gonna be slow. It's gonna
because
be slow. We're
nothing
not
is
gonna do it
immediate.
overnight.
Anything valuable that's worth having doesn't come immediately. You have to put in the work. You have to make.
But how does that
change.
change? Educating your families changes white people how?
You put the right.
This is the thing. This is another thing. I think we're too focused on getting white people to change and getting white people
I'm
to
not talking
like
about white
us
people
and
changing.
getting
I'm
white
talking
people
about
to
us.
They'll never like
respect us. It's about making them do it regardless, whether they like us or not. And I think a lot of people are focused on getting white people to see us
racism.
differently. And who cares if they see us differently?
Fuck anybody that's racist. Fuck anybody that doesn't like black people progressing. Fuck anybody that doesn't see us on the same playing field or as an equal. And anybody that has anything to say about black people trying to fight for their rights. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.